Hey guys, Disler Magic here, and it's time for another overlooked but awesome card. And this one, well, it's definitely overlooked. It was printed in 1994 a grand total of one time in a set called The Dark. And this card has a mechanic that I think should come back. It's so simplistic you wouldn't even have to call it something, it's just kind of neat. And I've got to say, I mean, whenever you see a 1/1 creature that costs more than, we'll say, 2, it's probably pretty darn good. So let me introduce to you Preacher. So I'm going to read the updated, revised official Oracle text instead of what's written on the card because I actually think this one's a little bit less confusing. You may choose not to untap Preacher during your untap step, and then he has an ability which is just tap, and then for as long as Preacher remains tapped, gain control of target creature of an opponent's choice he or she controls. So this is really similar to that card Martial Law from Return to Ravnica, which I kind of like that card. It was neat. That one lets you choose a new target to detain, as they called it, until the end of next turn. But this one, it's them choosing, which is hilarious because that's actually like weaker, obviously, and this is such a target being a 1/1. But it's kind of funny though, because whenever you make your opponent make a decision and it's never going to end well no matter what they choose, I just think that's kind of funny for some reason. I don't really know why. I mean, it's kind of like, Torment of Scarabs and Torment of Hailfire and Killing Wave, where your opponent has to, choose between, hopefully, the lesser of two evils. So, I mean, the cool, flexible thing about this, because, there's not much there. It's pretty obvious what it does. Oh, does it interact with something? Probably not. I mean, it's not a big deal. First of all, you gain control of it instead of just, tapping it or detaining it or exiling it or whatever. So you could swing with it, and secondly, if it's their only creature, they only have one out on the field, and it's really powerful, you still get it, because that's the only choice. So if you're, playing white and you're exiling, I guess, all the weaker cards, I don't know why you would really do that, because they could just blow up Preacher and it could backfire. But if that's what you did, ta-da, you just got yourself, a 5/5 dragon or something. And the best thing is, once it's under your control, you can sacrifice it if you have an ability that does so. So you could swing and just get it killed or just whatever. You could use its abilities. I mean, you can do anything. So controlling another player's permanents are really, really good effects. And then the coolest thing is if they, for some reason, use Twiddle or something to untap Preacher, you immediately lose control of it. They could actually do that in the middle of combat. After you've attacked with their stolen creature, it would return to their side untapped, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure about that. And then it would be removed from combat because, you no longer own it. And then they could block with it. So, I mean, okay, there's a lot of ways for this to backfire, but they're kind of narrow. In general, I would love to have one of their creatures every single turn. I mean, that would be pretty good even if it's a 1/1, because then at least you've got two 1/1s, although this one's tapped. It's one of those things where if their board state is incredibly weak, then that's fine because you're probably going to win anyway, so there's nothing worth stealing. Well, great, then just hit them with a bunch of creatures. And then if they do have a powerful board state, this could absolutely shut them down. Cards that scale based on how well your opponent is doing are very, very powerful. It's the exact opposite of the cards that are like, oh, if you're already probably going to win even more. Oh boy, for every creature you have on the field. Well, at a certain point, you're just going to flood swing. I mean, obviously you could win with a board state of 15 creatures. By the way, one more fun little thing that I had to point out because this is hilarious, because this is the biggest running gag in all of Magic. Well, besides telling new people that foil cards are hexproof. The bottom of the card is originally worded like this. You also lose control of the creature if Preacher leaves play or at end of game. So in other words, they had to remind people not to walk off with people's cards. Because, by the way, I mean, control and owner are two different things in the game, keyword-wise. If it says return it to an owner's hand, well, then it's the original owner. It's literally the owner of the card. I mean, unless they borrowed the deck, but not really. You guys get it. I mean, they might as well have just printed at the end of the game, make sure you actually give the card back. And remember, back then, sleeves were not a big thing, so you could actually accidentally shuffle it into your deck and have a little bit of a problem. So overall, I just find this card hilarious. It is absolutely going straight into my Commander deck as soon as I pick it up. I do have some slightly bad news, though. At this time, it's floating in around $15, so not the cheapest card, probably because it is damn good you could steal somebody's Commander with it. So a little downside there, but it kind of reinforces the fact that I think it's a very, very excellent card. So hopefully you guys find something fun to do with it, and I will see you guys next video.